Hey everybody, it's Marilyn. Welcome back to KK's Quilt Studio. Hey, we get a lot of posts on the boards of people looking for quilting designs or quilting patterns, things that they found on, say, Pinterest or somewhere on the internet or took a snapshot of and want to know, what is that design? I want to duplicate it. Well, I want you to remember to always be thinking outside the box. I want you to remember that you have a lot of tools in your quilting toolbox probably already that you could make a design very similar to this. This may not be a quilting pattern, a digitized quilting pattern. It could be something else, and that's what I found when I started researching this quilt. I'm going to talk about how I and others are researching your quilt, and now you can do it too. So we are going to go over to our good friend Mr. Google. So when you go to google.com, this page comes up, and notice up here in the right hand corner there are, if you have Gmail, or this is search engine, this is the regular search engine if you're looking for something in particular out there on that big worldwide internet. We are looking for an image though, so I took a snapshot of this quilt that the person was looking for. I'm going to click on images. Again, you can type in words if you need. I have an image, so I'm going to click that camera and then upload that image from my desktop. So when I click on choose a file, this will click on or open my file explorer. I've stored it on my desktop, and what I'm going to do is just drag that file over here and just drop it. So I left click on my mouse and dragged it over to my desktop, and there Google found my image. And if I scroll down, I'll see that it found different colors that are similar to what I'm looking for. And what I did was look down here, and the best one I found was someone's Pinterest page. So in the next tab, that's what I did. I've gone to that person's Pinterest page. I looked down the group of photos she had, and there, when I hover over the image of the quilt, it gives me a link as to where this picture came from. Also over here in the comments, sometimes you may find information on that. So just click on where that came from, and it will bring up, there's that quilt, an image of the blog spot where this quilt came from. And there are the pictures of this quilt, and what I found out is that these are quilts using a zigzag template. And if you click on this link here, it gives an index of all the templates that they have and a price list. Now I'm not going to go into all the templates that they have. So I'll show you, this is a picture of one of the boards that they have for sale. This was actually a better picture than they had on their website. And you can see this is a series of wavy patterns and zigzags. So they have on that blogspot page, there are pictures of all the different quilts and all the different patterns. Someone, their customers use this board, kind of like their groovy boards that you hook up to the back of your machine to do quilting before we had computerized quilting. So this one is called Zigzag Board from Circle Lord Quilting. But I'm going to teach you today how to create something like this with things you already have in ProStitcher Premium. So let's go on over and open ProStitcher. Here we are in ProStitcher Premium. I am on at the simulator on my desktop, and first thing I'm going to do is choose File from the tabs and then Design. And we are going to open a design. Since I'm at my laptop and not at the tablet on the machine, under the tablet, I believe your designs are under the D. I have a thumb drive in my computer, and I'm under designs, and either under HQ designs, or if you have a baby lock machine, you're under the baby lock designs, and then go to continuous line designs. What we are going to be looking for is a design. Let's go all the way down for the first example. And I want this ribbon continuous design, and then go ahead and click open. Okay, let's flip back for just a minute, and I've turned the quilt. So let's take a look at that design. Why did I choose that continuous ribbon? Because if you take a look at this design, you'll see that it goes up and down. Look at one quilting line at a time, and it's one line up and down. How are we going to create that in ProStitcher? It's easy. With this design, we are going to modify this shape. We're going to resize it. So I'm going to make it a little bit wider and change the height a little bit squatter. And we're done with that. Now we're going to go to repeat, and I'm going to repeat it horizontally about 8 times. Okay, and then I'm going to baseline. All right, next, now we have all these connected together. Let's go to edit, and let's go, we can either go to duplicate, but I find I want to go to copy and paste because it lays it right in line, so it's in a straight line. And that's kind of how I want to start doing this design. Okay, so I should have, I click that, I should have 4 ribbons. Let's go back and take a look at that quilt again. There are 4 lines, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you see those little wavy lines. Okay, so we have 4 lines, and I need to move these to the side. So let's go to modify and reposition, and I'm going to change this to 0.25, and I'm going to bump that over. Go back to workspace, select the next one, go back to reposition, and I'm going to move it so I'm spacing these a 1/4 inch away from each other. Go back to reposition. And it looks like I need to bring that one down just a tad. Okay, so I think we are where we want to be, and I am going to drag a box around, select all. You can also use your select all tool down here in the lower right. Let's zoom in just a tad using our zoom tools. Again, I'm going to baseline these 3 together, or these 4 lines together, and I'm going to go back to area and copy, paste, or again I could duplicate, it doesn't matter. Go back to modify, rotate, and we're going to flip that design. We're going to reposition it. So we're going to move it down. Going to zoom in a little bit so you can see better what we're doing. And if we go back to that picture of that quilt, you'll see there is my line. Now it's not exactly the same shape, but we are getting there. Let's take a look again at what we're doing in Art and Stitch, or in ProStitcher Premium. I could get another design just by playing around and moving those designs. Now I could have taken a little more time and spaced these out. It looks like one is a little farther than the other, but look at that. That's a cool design because it gives you kind of a circle shape within there. So simple design. It's just a arch shape and repeated, and then repeat the design, and then repeat the whole string of designs and just nudge them apart. That's our first design. So we'll go ahead and we will save this as a workspace, and I'll call it go in here and get rid of all this. Workspace 1. Okay, and then we will clear. Let's go back to our designs, and this time again we're in the continuous lines, and I'm going to scroll down and I found one that works slightly better. Spine 2. We're going to open, and the same process. We're going to go ahead and leave the size as we found it, but I'm going to go ahead and repeat it. So we're going to go through the same processes that we did before. We're going to go to repeat. I'm going to make it as wide as my quilt, so you'll see how big it's getting up here. And I think I will make this slightly bigger. Let me get 8 repeats. Let's go to modify and resize. I'm going to lock the aspect ratio so that it's changing both the width and the height, keeping everything the same. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, refresh, and looks good. We're going to go ahead and baseline. So we're going to go back to edit and duplicate, and you see what happens when I do duplicate. It aligns everything out of line. So we'll go ahead and do 2, 3, 4, and we'll use our reposition tools. Remember how we did that in the other YouTube video. So let's go to reposition those. Okay, I'm going to go to modify, and I'm going to use my crosshairs. I'm going to move all these to the start point. So I'll select them, move them to the start point, so we're going to get them all aligned right on top of each other. So here, yes, 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 everything is aligned. Okay, so now we're going to select our second one, and we're going to reposition. Click on the reposition tab, and we're going to move it over 3 clicks. Go back to the workspace, select the next one, reposition it 2 clicks. I think this one we missed a little bit, missed 1 click. And we're on the 3rd. Okay, let me zoom in. Yep, we're actually, let's move them just slightly more. just moving them apart. And let's get that last one, and we will reposition it. That looks much better. Okay, so we are going to go down here, select all. We're going to baseline. We're going to go back to edit. We're going to duplicate. And I just need to nudge over. That looks much more like our design. So this is a design that you already have. It's not something that somebody created, and it is available if you have rulers or groovy boards or templates. Gosh, even a scribble. You can create a new pattern from those designs in ProStitcher. You don't need Art and Stitch necessarily. I like Art and Stitch because I can play around. I got a lot more tools to play with, but you can make incredibly simple designs just by using your ProStitcher. So there is that design. Again, you can go back to modify and reposition that, nudge it up. You can get all kinds of designs. If we zoom in, look how that cuts over and makes a neat inner mesh design. If you saw this on a quilt, you wouldn't be able to figure out how somebody created it. So remember, I want you to think outside the box. And as always, if you ever need help, I'm always available. Ask me a question at kksews at kksews@kksquiltstudio.com. If you like this YouTube video, please give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate your feedback and like to know that this really helped you. Be sure to join my Facebook group, and as always, I wish you happy quilting. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.